This is Dan Tortora of Wake Up Call here with Gina Castelli of the Moyne College Dolphins women's basketball team. Gina, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And Gina's here with us. We, years ago, not too long ago, but this entire complex has changed.
Oh, I know.
You and I met on a white picnic table right here with a jacket on because it was cold again.
Yeah.
But we met here at the beginning. And for those that don't know, let everybody know about that first season, that first year that you came back here, because we sat at that table and talked about kind of your mission, your goals, and you've had tremendous success with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a great opportunity for me to come back to the Central New York area, and when I was offered the opportunity to coach here, there are many people that said, don't take the job, it's a losing program, you're not going to win there. But I felt that, it was a great school academically. I thought that there was some really good potential in recruiting within Central New York, upstate New York, even Western New York area that we could pull from. And I felt like, in the NE10, it's like, hey, there's a lot of winning programs in the NE10. All we need to do is make a few changes. And the girls bought in right away. I can't thank the team I inherited enough for just, accepting me and, making some changes right away so that we could be on the path to winning, championships.
So soft-spoken when we do these, but very fierce on the court. How do you turn it on and off?
I don't know. I mean, I think basketball is, I always say it's, when we're between the lines, it's a job in the sense it's work, we got to get it done, and, we can't worry about so much our feelings as much as, what are we all here to do, and I think that's the most important thing, when we're out there, but the most important thing, obviously, is how we treat each other outside of that area as well, so I think I've had a really good perspective in terms of what we need to do in there, and then, what we do out here.
To come out here again, people can't see where the picnic tables used to be because they're staring at this beautiful thing. But there's always been, it seems like every year there's been change. And when you and I met for the first time, you said, I believe in Matt Bassett, I believe in this athletic department. They promised that there's going to be upgrades and changes and we're going to excel. We're going to go upward always. As far as I'm seeing and feeling and noticing over the years, they have honored that deal. Do you feel like they have?
Absolutely, and I think one of the biggest changes, not even like, in the facilities as much as the culture. I think that when I first got here, Matt started to install the Inside the Out program, which I think, is just a wonderful culture-based program that our athletic department has that extends out to, coaches, administrators, student athletes, parents, alumni, that, we're all in this together. And, it's a beautiful program, and I think since we've been a part of it, there's been many more winning programs here, and I think that to me is really the difference more than anything else.
When you first stepped foot into Moyne and you had that plan, go back to those moments of when we first spoke here and those pillars. For those who don't know, what did a Gina Castelli foundation look like?
I think, the four main things are, working hard, hard work, having a positive attitude, being respectful, and being trustworthy. Those are the things that we talk a lot about in our program, but also in terms of who we want to recruit. I want to make sure that we're getting not only talented players, but players that are going to work hard.
Yeah.
They're going to stay positive as much as possible through the season. Some players it's a lot different, for them, some are playing more than others, and it's tough not to be able to play. So, staying positive throughout and being a part of, the buy-in, helps us win. And being respectful, how they treat themselves, is really important to me. Like what they're eating, what they're drinking, how they're sleeping, how they're treating themselves, I think it's important. And, trust is probably the glue to everything. You gotta make sure we have players that you can trust. If you don't have trust, you don't have anything to do.
How hard is it in the world we live in today as a coach or just as a human being in general to find people that are trustworthy?
Well, it's hard. It's hard because, they're young kids, and sometimes you think you're getting a person, but when they're away at school and the school becomes more difficult, or they're a little bit more homesick, or basketball becomes more difficult, then kind of their personality really comes out a little bit more. But that's what college is about, right? That's why I love this age group. It's you go from freshman year where you think you're one way, and then you start realizing, wow, I didn't realize I would get so upset, maybe not playing, or I didn't realize I'd be so homesick. So it's just part of the growth, and if kids can just withstand those things, I think that that's when you see people emerge like Colleen Portman, or even maybe Taylor Roberts, Liz Millay, you got to go through some of those little hurdles to become who you are in your senior year. And it's a beautiful opportunity for me and for any coach, at this level to be a part of that.
Adversity, a lot of people run away from it. I am doing better in the beginning. I can do better at not complaining about it when it happens. There's that initial why, but I run toward it because I think that adversity is what makes us. I think that it's what's an Indiana Jones movie without the fire, without having to jump on the ropes, without that giant ball following him? How do we know really how far we can go, what our faith is, how strong we are, unless we're tested? Faith has to be tested, love has to be tested, trust has to be tested to see who we are.
Right.
So how do you tackle adversity, and are you one of those crazy people like me that runs toward it at this point because you know that it makes you better?
Well, it definitely makes you better. I'm not sure I run toward it as much, but I know that when it's happening, it's I try to stay positive through it because they're all lessons, and I always look at adversity as there's probably a simple answer somewhere. Sometimes you can look at your problems and say, I don't know how I can tackle this, but usually the answer's pretty simple. If you can just take a deep breath and think about, okay, what do I need to be doing? How can we fix this? And it's not usually going to be that difficult. If you can just kind of clear your mind and open your mind and your heart to all right, we can get through this.
What have you learned the most about yourself from the day you walked into Moyne to now?
Oh wow. I'm really proud of myself, to be honest with you. I had, when I left Siena, and there were some things that really tested me, and my own, whether it was my own confidence, and wondering, hey, can I do this again? And also just the way I've been able to step back and to just be able to appreciate more people and the time I have and what I'm doing. And so I'm kind of, I feel like I've learned mostly about basketball is important, but it's not that important. And when I can open my heart that way, I feel like I can win more games. I think that's what I've learned the most, is that you can't be so it's all about winning. But it's just it's just gonna come. You just got to keep working at it, stay faithful to what you're teaching. Things are gonna come. But I really do feel like this whole Inside the Elk program has made me a better person, and I think it's really a blessing for coaches to be a part of it. It kind of gives you a little bit of a toolbox for your own. When things aren't going well, you can kind of turn to some of the things that maybe were discussed throughout the year. That's okay, I'm not in this. I'm not alone in this. Other coaches might be going through it. Other athletes might be going through it. I think that, I think that's also been a very helpful thing for me to realize. Yes, it's important to win here, but more importantly, it's about how we treat each other.
You've been successful here. You've stayed.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. Why does Moyne have that connection, a deeper connection to you? Why does it feel like another home?
I think, it's close to home to me. I have family both in Albany and in Buffalo, and I think that's a big. I've always made decisions based on my family, and this was also a decision I made based on my family, my dad not being so well at the time, and it was, you know, coming to a great school. I mean, it just works right now for me personally and professionally. But you know, I'm getting old, so it's like, let's see where this takes me now. So we'll see.
For you, what's been your greatest challenge?
Probably my greatest personal challenge is just maintaining a personal relationship, you know, outside of here. You know, being that, you know, who I'm with is away. You know, that's probably my biggest personal challenge. Professionally, I feel like I've been just so blessed. I mean, to say that I've had challenges, I can't even say that, you know, it's been really that difficult. You know, I've just been so blessed with so many great kids that, yeah, maybe some are like totally having a time or whatever, you know, but those things you're always going to get in coaching, and, you know, I think that, I think that's probably, I've just been really lucky. I mean, I just been really lucky there, you know, and I've been really happy.
Social media, talk about being lucky and being happy. Social media tends to, there's happy and there's the other side. When you were playing ball growing up, never had to worry about it. Mm-hmm. When you start coaching, didn't have to worry about it. But in the here and now, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and things continue to grow and show up. Mm-hmm. How do you navigate the waters of people saying good things, bad things about you, your players? How do you tackle the fact that social media is so instantaneous? It's always there. It can be positive and negative, and at the same time, your players also may want to build an image for themselves, build a brand. So there's a lot of things that go into how it affects a sport and a team that, you know, 10 years ago we're not talking about this. Well, you know, 15 years ago we're not.
Social media for me, you know, it's really private. You know, I have Twitter, but I'm not even active on Twitter. I have a personal Instagram account, and that's it. You know, for me personally, you know, I do it more for my family. You know, to maintain contact with my cousins in Italy, my cousins in California, things like that. You know, for players, you know, we talk a lot about social media in the beginning of how they post and what they post. You know, it's just simple stuff, you know, wearing the Moyne gear and then, you know, posting yourself with something crazy out there. You know, I think making kids aware, making, you know, student athletes aware of, you know, just making them aware, you know, don't post a photo with a drink in your hand, you know, you never know what's in that drink, you know what I mean? So it's, people can always just assume that it's alcohol or, you know, when you're underage, and, or a photo with a Moyne shirt on and you're acting, you know, funny, you know, like, it doesn't bode well, but, you know, I can't personally say don't post them. All I can do is make suggestions, you know, and I think when you communicate things to student athletes and help them understand how it can help them hurt them, I think that's the most important thing.
As a coach, how do you relate to student athletes now? I mean, obviously, times change, and, you know, culture has changed. Some kids that are coming up are desensitized because they see everything. You know, there's that connection to social media. They can't get off their phone. There's, you know, somewhat of more of a me society at times too. So as a coach, how do you connect to players that are coming from a generation that's obviously different?
I think it gets, you know, as you get older, it gets a little bit harder because you're not in the loop all the time with what's going on, you know. But honestly, I think I've always been the same with kids, you know. I mean, I just tried to treat them like they were my own in a sense, you know, to talk to them, to be available. I don't always think it's that easy now because of social media. I think kids tend to want to talk to you more through text and less through a phone call or coming into your office. But it's a little bit of accepting it too, you know, and for me, it's kind of the way, you know, so if texting is a little bit easier, then I'll do that. But I prefer to just have them either come into my office and talk or, you know, on the court just to see how they're doing. But, you know, as much as possible throughout the summer, I try to just check in, with a couple each week just to see how they're going.
What's the vetting process like? What are you looking for to really know who you're getting when you're recruiting?
I think, well, number one, I think they have to be talented, I think that's big, and then once you know, like, okay, we're like talented player, to me, it's like what their character's about, what coaches are saying, that they're working with about them, how you're seeing their interacting, on the court, with their teammates, on the bench, how they're interacting, and again, it goes back to hard work, their attitude, the way they come in here on an unofficial visit and they communicate with you, if they're engaging, stuff like that I feel like it might be a little thing, but if they don't seem interested, they don't want to communicate, they're disinterested, they're not going to be successful here, because it's really important to have high energy and positive kids, in our program.
Yeah, coming from Gina Castelli here with us, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and Moyne obviously continuing to upgrade and
This is Matt Bassett.
have some positivity going on here as always. So Gina, for the women's basketball team, for everything that you've done here, and for being a person that I can honestly say lived by their word from the day I met them.
Thank you
so much. Appreciate it.